let's focus for a minute on this new LLC law. It's not a new law. It's about 3 or 4 months old. I don't know of any court decisions which have interpreted it, but it's a new law. I wish I had the number, I'd give it to you. It says that if you have a multi-member LLC, that any assets in that multi-member LLC are not subject to the creditor's claims of an individual creditor. So let's say, for example, me and it's a couple of gentlemen in my office. Let's go, David, and Jeremy. 4 of us. We have a multi-member LLC, and we each put $5,000 into it. Let's say one of my creditors wants to sue me and gets a judgment. Can they go and try to take my $5,000 out of that LLC? Under this new Florida law, the answer is no. They can't, because the assets of a multi-member LLC are not subject to the individual creditor's claims. That creates some really, really interesting law, because before, my interest in the LLC would have been subject to the creditor's claims, but not that the creditor can go to the LLC and sue it, but because I have an interest in that. So for example, when I file bankruptcy, or when a person files bankruptcy, they have to list all their legal and their equitable interest in an asset. And the bankruptcy trustees would look at these interests, say, oh, it's a legal interest, they own a car. Oh, it's a bank account. Oh, but they have an equitable interest, meaning they have an interest in something. You know, there was a car bought, but it wasn't titled in Carmen DeLutri's name yet, so I have an equitable interest in it, but the title hasn't been switched yet. But it's still an equitable interest. The trustee would take into consideration all of these interests. Now they have an interest, a legal interest in the LLC, but a creditor can't touch it, which means that when a trustee steps into the shoes of the creditor, the trustee's kind of in the same position, saying, hey, I've got this asset out there, can I go after it? That law hasn't been tested yet as far as I know. Obviously, it's going to happen. It's going to be tested going up the thing. The law is kind of written kind of sketchy to me. It's not tight. The language is really not tight. It's really kind of wide open. What is a multi-member LLC? Is it 2? Is it 3? Is it 5? And what's the interest have to be? These are questions I have. In other words, let's say I go into an LLC and I only have 1%. That's a problem.